Our lives are a series of mountains and valleys. There are many times where we go through situations in our lives where we feel that we're in a valley, but there's also many times where we are on top of a mountain. We're on cloud nine and everything is great. Life is good. The sun is shining and we feel like we can conquer everything. And that's all great, and we wish we could all live on that mountaintop. But the reality is, when we're on that mountaintop too long, we can get comfortable and get complacent and get so caught up in how life is on the mountain that we forget that God has called us with a purpose. We have things that God has called us to do. There are ministries that God wants us to fulfill. There are people's lives who God wants us to touch. But sometimes we get so caught up in the good that we forget and we get complacent. And the reality is, there are times when God has to allow a valley to come into your life just so that you can understand and appreciate that it is by God's grace and by God's mercy that we were ever able to get to that mountain. How can we ever appreciate a mountain? How can we appreciate the good when there aren't trials in our lives, when there aren't problems, when there aren't situations? How can you appreciate the sun when it never rains? How can we appreciate the calm when there isn't chaos? And so God will allow a storm to arise in your life. God will allow you to walk through a valley just so that we can understand that it is only by God's grace, that it is only by God's mercy that we can say our life is good. The greatness of God is that even though when we walk through those valleys, David said in Psalms 23:4, he said, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for God is with me. And I love the language of that verse, because he says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, the fact that there is a shadow indicates to me that there is sunshine, that there is sun on the other side. And so that valley isn't meant to keep me there. That valley isn't meant to kill me. That valley is meant to strengthen me, to keep on walking, to find that sun, so I can go, so I can keep going, so I can keep walking, so I can keep running and climb and climb and climb myself out of this valley, but only because of my trust in God. Isaiah says that those that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. That valley isn't meant to kill you. That storm is not meant to drown you. The chaos is not meant to cause you fear. It is only there to strengthen you. It is only there to prepare you. It is only there to remind you that there's a mountain to conquer, that there's another mountain to climb. So don't stay in that valley. David said, even though I walk through, he said, I didn't walk to, but I walked through the valley of the shadow of death. That valley is not your destination. The mountaintop is. But you will never appreciate the mountain until you've gone through a valley.